Okay guys, so good morning. I went ahead and I did the next video for chapter 4 lesson 2. This is part 2. So if you didn't do yesterday's homework, you might want to look at that first so that you understand what you're doing. Your assignment will look like this when you go into it, and then you're just going to go ahead and go into your Gmail. I've shared with you the next document, which is chapter 4, lesson 2 PowerPoint part 2. Okay, so this is what you will see. Once it pops up here, we'll start going through. So what you're gonna need if you wanna pause the video is your pencil, your homework from last night, and your practice book. Okay, so your smaller book that you're gonna do your homework pages out of today. Okay, so pause it if you need to. I'm gonna continue on. If we go down to slide 3, you're gonna see problem number 1. Done here, I went ahead and I created this circle. So remember that when we're taking 10, dividing it by 3, you have to have 10 total pieces. So I made mine little triangles. So there's 10 here. And then remember you had to split them evenly up into 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3 groups. So there were 3 triangles that fit into each circle. There was one that was left over. And that guy couldn't obviously fit into each of these. I didn't have enough to fit him into each, so we leave him as the remainder. Okay, and you're just going to check your homework like this. If you need to, you can pause it. Like I said, feel free to. I'm going at the own speed so that this uploads a little bit quicker. Problem 2. Hopefully you guys had an easier time with this one as well. 28 divided by 5. Your answer should have been 5, remainder 3. So you should have had at least 28 pieces out, whatever you were using as manipulatives, made 3 or 5 different circles. And if you guys aren't doing the drawings, if you could try it on your homework tonight, only because I need to make sure you can do this method. After this, once you learn all the methods, feel free to do whatever you want to on the test. Remember, I don't really care on that. It just helps. Your standards require that you know different methods. So it helps to know that you guys are understanding this. So please, 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 I know some of you guys did the old school division. That's what I learned. It's okay if you're on a test. I just need to know that you can do the drawing section of this, okay? So going back to the problem, you should have had 28 pieces. You had to divide those up into 5 groups evenly, and whatever was left over that you couldn't put into these 5 groups all the way across the board, then you needed to leave them as the remainder. So we ended up with 5 total pieces in each of these groups, and there were 3 remaining pieces that we couldn't fit in, 1 extra in there. Okay. And this is all division is. It's just getting a big number and dividing it up into smaller pieces. Okay, smaller groups. All right, so now you have 15 divided by 6. We have 2, remainder 2. So if you notice, there were 2 pieces that fit into every circle. Okay, and then there were 3 pieces left over. The next one is going to be 11 divided by 3. 3 remainder 2 is your answer. So you should have had 3 little triangles or whatever you use that fit into 3 of those circles, and 2 were left over. I'm going to run through these problems pretty quickly. 29 divided by 4 equals 7, remainder 1. So I was able to fit 7 pieces into each of these. Remember, take your pieces and go one by one, and then start back over again when you're doing the drawings. Okay, if you did the cross out method, you could also do that, but make sure you're really giving each set and not just jumping the gun and trying to fit them all and seeing how much everything fits in. Because I know you guys can try to get done quickly. Remember, it's not about speed, it's about if you're getting this and actually getting the concept of it. Okay, 34 divided by 5 should have looked like this. 6, remainder 4. Okay, 6 pieces were able to fit into each of these 5 circles, and the remaining balance was 4. So I could have fit 1 into each of these, but I would have had 1 circle without the 7 piece. So I couldn't do that. We move on to problem 7. Problem 7 is 3 big groups, right? We're dividing 25 into 3 groups. And you should have had 8 8 pieces were able to fit in with the remaining piece of 1. Your next problem, 20 divided by 7 should have been 2, remainder 6. Okay, I'm not going to show you the fun tricks until after we start getting the hang of this. So it should have been 7 circles, right? Because we were dividing 20 into 7 by 7. And you should have been able to fit 2 pieces into each of these circles. You would have had a remaining amount of 6. So we wouldn't have had an extra piece for this guy right here. And you know what? Misty messed up a little bit. So this piece, I will go back in and I will delete that. So not to confuse you, this piece should not be there. Your next problem, problem number 9, should have been 35 divided by 4 equals 8, remainder 3. Okay, would have been able to fit 8 pieces into each of these 4 circles, and I would have had a remaining amount of 3 pieces. Okay, problem number 10. 23 divided by 8 should have been 2 with a remainder of 7. Okay, I had 8 circles here, 2 pieces per circle, with a remaining amount of 7 pieces. (13A). Remember, we had 2 parts to do. We had to do the drawings, and then we had to answer the question as to if this problem had a remainder or not. So in our first question, it was 36 divided by 9. It should have been equal to 4. Okay, and there was no remainder at all. So I was evenly able to split those pieces up into 9 groups and 4 pieces per group. This one did have a remainder, so it should have said yes. It would have been 8 with a remainder of 4. So 25 divided by 3, those 25 pieces, I was able to put 8 into each of these 3 groups, and I had 1 remaining piece. 3C, this was a big problem. So it was 9 circles, 81 pieces. So if you did this, kudos to you. This was a lot of work right here, trying to get all these little triangles in there. But 81, or 82, excuse me, divided by 9 would have been 9 with a remainder of 1. So this little guy was the one that was left out. Okay, but the rest of them fit in the circles. And the final problem was D, 13D. Your answer was no. There was no remainder. It was 28 divided by 7 equals 4. Right, so we have 7 circles, and 4 were able to fit into each of these circles. If I ever mess up on these triangle guys, just let me know. I can go back in and correct them. It's a lot of work trying to get each of these tiny little triangles in. Okay, now your next assignment is going to be very similar to what you did yesterday, so last night. This one is chapter 4, lesson 2 again. You're doing it in your practice book, okay? So this should say not in your big book. I will take that out. My fault. I don't know why. You know what? I did not put that in. So your assignment will be changed on here. It will be practice page. See if you have yours out right now. I'll give you the assignment. My fault. I thought I had already changed it. I guess I didn't. Why did it didn't? Okay, no, it's changed. It just needs to say not in your big book there, okay? I just double checked it. So it should be numbers 1 through 12 and 13A through D in your big book. This is all going to be taken out, so don't pay attention to that. Okay, it's just page 65 in your practice book, numbers 1 through 12. Please, 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 once again, show your pictures. Okay, show all of your work and use pictures. Go back in the video, double check how to use them so that you can get the hang of using these pictures. You will be asked to do it in your test at least once. Other methods and stuff like that, I don't mind you doing. You know me, I don't care. Math is math, but at least be able to show it once for me. Okay, so good luck tonight. Go back over this video if you need to, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.